So you talk there about finding what's out there. How then can people think about their self and what their particular skills are and what they'll be good at?
Well, you're right, and thanks for picking up on that other side of it, because it's absolutely crucial that you own this process and you realise that this isn't an academic, theoretical process to look at jobs, and jobs are boring, and just look at careers, and careers has so many horrible connotations. This is about excitement. I know careers advisors have got this bad sort of reputation of telling you, oh, you should have been at this, or you can be this, or you'll never be that. For me, I've never said that to anyone. It's always about dream. You know, this is your life. You get one opportunity. You've probably got 80 odd years left in your life. Why not find something that you really enjoy? So the way I break it up is one, your skills, what you can do. Two, what you enjoy doing. And three, what you want from life. And I would come up with a list of 10 things for each of those headings. Obviously, when you're just in university or coming out of university, you don't know those things very deeply. But this is a really valuable experience to force yourself to say what the answer to those things are. And again, don't link them to careers. Don't link them to the 30 occupations that you've figured out. Don't link them to anything at all. Just by the end of this week, I will have 10 skills that I'm really good at, 10 things I enjoy, and 10 things I want from life. And it's key you get things from every area. For example, if I go back to my example of being a pro football player, if I had listed my 10 skills, 10 interests, and 10 motivations, or what did I say, 10 skills, 10 things I enjoy, and 10 motivations, motivations being what I want from life, I would have 10 of my motivations ticked by being a professional footballer. I would have 10 of the things I enjoy at being a professional footballer. So I would have 20 out of 30. This is going pretty good. But when it got down to skills, it all goes very quiet, because I'd get none. I haven't got any of the skills to be a professional footballer. So I would get 20 out of 30 and have not one of the skills. Therefore, it's not worth even thinking about that career. I need to find things that fit all three categories. So, for example, once I worked in a petrol station at the weekends. I had all the skills to do that job, but within a few weeks I'd learned it like the back of my hand. Fine. I actually reasonably enjoyed it. It's the middle of the night, no one ever came in, I could relax. I'd probably get 5 out of 10. But motivations, what I want from life, did it give me anything I wanted from life? Nothing at all. So I couldn't really see that as a career, because I only got 15 out of 30, and I didn't get any of the things I want from life. So what I would suggest is I would list those skills, interests and motivations for a week. For another week, I'd see what's out there. And for the next week, I would put each of those two things together. I would match those 30 ideas with the 30 things I've defined about myself. You don't have to do it so formally like I'm suggesting. But you know, I think that when you're lost and you're struggling, it's good to have that structure to sort of engage you. And believe me, when you start doing something about this fear, these big fears we have, like when I was teaching little kids, they'd have a maths block. They get so scared about it, they couldn't break into it. And I think people like that with careers. It's like the world's falling on their shoulders. So do something about it. And when you start, actually, you get really engaged, because I'm actually getting there. So I would do it structurally, and I would come up with my 30 ideas of jobs and my 30 criteria about myself, marry the two together to come up with a short list of, say, six positions that match pretty much who I am.
Excellent. And you mentioned that in the early chapters of the book, and what I really liked about it is you do highlight the fact that it's to do that does take effort, and it's not an easy process, but you need to put the effort in and take your time to be able to realize what it is that you want to do. Yeah,
I've very rarely noticed a lack of effort amongst students and graduates in terms of their careers. What I've noticed overwhelmingly is, well, using that word overwhelmingly, is being overwhelmed. I think almost all students and graduates who I talk to who are struggling, it's because it's just too much. And it's too much in their terms because they don't know what to do. They're ready to do the work. They're ready to put in the hours, but they don't know where to put them in, what to do. And I think that's what's really frustrating for people. When you're there, you want to do it, but you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. So again, I find that if you do get this structure, there is no real effort no problem putting the effort in, because once you start actually forcing yourself to write jobs you like the look of, 90% of them will be stupid jobs that when you research them using all the tools I list in my book, 90% of the jobs you look at will be no way near you. For example, there's a computer program on prospects I really recommend called Prospects Planner. 95%, if not 98% of the jobs that comes up with will be ridiculous for you. And people look at it, they bring the report in to see a careers advisor, they look at it themselves and think, what a waste of time. It's not a waste of time, because there will be 3 or 4 ideas on that list that are brilliant for you. So it's putting the work in and being prepared to engage with it and say, right, I've got this long list of jobs, but they're all crap. There's one that might be interesting. I'm trying to really say, right, I'm going to get 30 jobs, whatever it takes. I'm going to use all these sources of information. I'm going to get 30. And when you put that effort in, you get a lot more back. So it really does engage you and keep you going in the journey.
I liked your idea of making sure that that initial searching activity was time boxed. I know that you mentioned dissertations earlier. When I was doing my dissertation, I almost had a paralysis by analysis of just, it was easier for me to keep on researching than actually stopping and doing the work and writing it, which was the difficult thing I kept on putting off. So I just kept on researching and doing more research and research.
With careers, people just drift a year, and they say, oh, look, I thought about this and I thought about that, or I applied for that. But what they're saying is they're not taking control. They're not, you use your word, time boxing it. They're not saying, I'm going to strategically take control of this. And one reason is the fear of rejection, the fear of actually crossing jobs off, because that means you're even lessening your options. The fear of facing up to the fact that it's your life, and to get what you want, you need to really go for it. It in many ways, it becomes so daunting that it's easier to just not face up to those, because you keep your options open. But actually, you're not keeping your options open. You're just drifting.